Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again. The time when the geeks, the nerds, and the fandom menace crawl out from under their rocks to talk about Soylo. This is the Deplorable Batcave with another Star Wars special. This time talking about possibly the weakest offering in the modern lineup. Just because of, oh my god, what the fuck have they done? Soylo, a Star Wars tragedy. Introducing the panelists from my left and my right, we have Ice and Fire.
We have nothing to lose but our restraining bolts.
Blippity Blop.
Laugh it up, Buzzball.
Seawall.
I'm busy eating rice, so skip over me.
Professional.
Gimpy in the peanut gallery, but you know, he just shows up. He's our resident hobo. And Beggar Hero.
Hello, everybody.
Look, all I gotta say about Solo, I'm not gonna see it legally, but you know what comes next.
So, a couple of quick statistics before we go into this mess. According to IMDb, so take this with a grain of salt, its estimated budget's $300 million.
There are some unofficial estimates saying it's close to $500 million, not including the marketing.
According to this box office from IMDb, it says its budget was $300 million. Its opening weekend was $84.4 million. Its U.S. returns gross have been $182.3 million. Supposedly, it's made its budget back at $319 million worldwide.
No, you need to make roughly double your. You need to make in the gross for box office. You need to make roughly
gross.
Double.
Yeah, it says gross.
Yeah.
So
that because the theaters keep half. Theaters keep half. Everyone forgets that. So this movie is a financial flop, which is bad for Disney.
See you all. Let's continue.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, the other things we have to combat here, the IMDb rating is a 7.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, the thermometer has it at 71% with an audience score of 65. And Metacritic has it with a 62 Metascore, user score of 6.1 out of 10. I'm wondering how much white knighting we're seeing here.
I think we're seeing, in all honesty, most people that would rate it low already know it's terrible, and they're just not going to see it. That's why that's why the box office is so low. The only people seeing it are those who are either this was a fun popcorn flick and give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10, and then you also have people that are like, this is the best movie ever, and just the crazies who, well, there's a reason why we have helicopters. It's for them.
Scott, do you want to go through the panel, or how do you want to do it?
Look, all I'm going to say is all my degenerate bisexual friends like the movie, which means it probably sucks.
Well, we're going to do what we did last time. We're going to go through the panel one by one, personal thoughts, and then we'll just go into an open forum critique of what we know for those who haven't seen it and those that have. Actually, I don't think anybody here has seen it.
I have.
Okay. We got one person. All right. All right, Ison, you're first.
All right, there is a slight chance I'll see it tomorrow. Probably won't. Honestly, if y'all want something to go see this weekend, go see the movie Tag. It's going to be fucking hilarious.
Or Incredibles 2.
Yeah, that too, yep. But honestly, the thing about, Solo, I'm not going to bother. Razorfist did a great video, and his opinion on Star Wars, generally speaking, is gold. I agree with pretty much everything he ever said on the matter. And, it's just they did it so wrong in so many ways. I've told the guys here, I definitely think Anthony and Gruber should have been cast as Han Solo. Alden Ehrenreich just does not... He's not Han Solo. He looks nothing like Harrison Ford. He behaves in the trailers nothing like him. I refuse to believe he is, and frankly, I'm not going to see it officially, and when I see it unofficially, then if I like it, I will, and I'll own up to that. But I probably won't, because modern Star Wars sucks.
It's the same. Blop?
I have not seen the film either. I have no intention of going to see it. I wouldn't even pirate it. Ison just made a very good point. It reminded me of the fan film that I'd seen, which is pretty popular on YouTube, and I forget the name of the actor. Just do a quick check on that.
Ison knows it off the top of his head because he's kind of got a bit of a man crush on this guy.
Oh no, I just think Anthony Gruber is literally the best Harrison Ford look like. Here's the thing, all right? I'm sorry, just
Jamie
the guy
Costa.
has played young Harrison Ford. He has actually played young Harrison Ford in films.
Here's the thing, though, is that you don't necessarily want somebody to just do an impersonation of Harrison Ford. You want somebody to have a certain charisma of their own, and that's why I think Jamie Costa's take is fantastic. Because, okay, he doesn't sound quite like him, but he has this charisma to him. He kind of
I like
reminds me
Jamie Costa as well.
of a much younger Kurt Russell, and he's got that comedic edge as well, the roguish aspect, which I don't know. I haven't seen this film, Soylo, but the actor just strikes me as a wet fish. Just there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
It's just, how can you take possibly the most iconic role in Star Wars and just suck all the joy out of it? I mean, let's face it, guys. When you're a kid, you're a little kid, you want to be Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
You get a bit older, you're like, fuck this shit. I want to be Han.
Fuck that. I wanted to be Darth Vader.
But you kind of broke the mold at birth. Or
Smart
in
had
the
a
back
mold.
time. The thing is, I don't want to delve in it too much at this stage, but you look into the EU as well. It's just Han's life has been categorized so much better in so many different ways throughout the EU. Okay, some of them are really, really cheesy in terms of how he found Chewie and how he sort of ended his Imperial career.
Didn't he blow up a moon base by accident?
That was during his days at the Academy.
Yeah,
And
it was like he bumped like an antimatter containment.
We're
unit or
holding
something.
off
Yeah.
on that one to the freeform.
Yeah. I just get the impression, and I sense this with Rogue One as well, is that there's all these little nods to what many of the older fans would be looking for from their experience of the EU, and it sort of just does enough to sort of say to them, hey, see, we love Star Wars too. We know exactly what you like. And then they throw it all back in your face and come up with this utter bollocks. Like, what have they done with Lando? Why? Why?
They ruined the character. However, to be fair, the actor probably does a good job.
We'll get into the freeform in a after.
Okay. So, I'll try and wrap this one up. I don't really want to give Disney any money. I don't want to allow them to continue this kind of factory churned crap. And the more I think about it, the more that episode of South Park where Lucas and Spielberg were demonized, and how they were basically told, you need to let go and hand it over to Disney. Oh, how they must be chewing their words now.
Yeah. Yep.
And fuck you, Razor Fist! I am begging for Lucas before the end. Fuck you!
You pined for Jar Jar Binks, admit it.
No, we will not go that far.
Just wait
Okay.
for episode 9.
Okay, you may fire when ready.
See what?
Look, my relationship with Star Wars has been kind of loose and fast. I'm a casual fan of a lot of the stuff that's been put out there. I've done my knowledge of the extended universe is mainly through things like the wiki articles and the tabletop games. So I've got a good working knowledge of it, and I just kind of look at what they were talking about for the Solo movie and going, look, all you had to do was just do the shit that already existed. Bring in someone like Timothy Zahn. The man is loved and is a damn good writer. He's loved by the fans and is a damn good writer who could take some of those storylines and make them a bit more mainstream appeal without really sacrificing too much. There are people out there that can do this. All Disney has to do is bring in the guys that have already done it. And look, I'm probably going to check out the movie after it comes out on DVD. I will obtain it in some means, see what the hubbub is about, and I'll give it a fair shake, going in with low expectations. That's where I'm sitting right now. So,
Alrighty, Beggar.
Okay. Well, I guess considering I was the only one that saw it on premiere day, it's sort of shocking to see. But, like, when I watched the film, I think I was more impressed by I thought it was good at the time, but then, of course, realizing through multiple reviews of it and just coming to my recollection that I was just like, there was nothing that struck me as good. Like, I think the entire thing, I was enjoying it just for a good adventure, but not really like these characters. I feel like I could just write
it's a popcorn flick, is what you're telling us.
Yes, and it was pretty much a popcorn flick where I could just get lost in it. But I had a sudden realization that this was Star Wars, and I did not like Han in this film because it was just like, because they were just trying to mythologize the entire in that thing to be like the Millennium Falcon Han in this role, where I'm just like, no, maybe we didn't need Han to get everything he needs in this first episode. He could just not have the Falcon and just be this guy that going out into the world and just trying to get experience of the world.
Yeah. By the way, I want to know something going forward, because we should probably do this. Even Beggar's seen the movie, and we know a lot of the stuff that happens in it. So, going forward, spoiler alert. Granted, that it should be expected.
Yeah, major spoilers.
Proceed at your own risk. And don't come crying to us. If you do, we will just laugh at you.
I honestly will not care. But, yeah, no.
Yeah, all 5 of you viewers.
Yeah, all 6.
Yeah. Honestly, the way I'd have done this, I'd have waited till the end for Han to get the Falcon.
Yeah.
They didn't need the reference to Kessel Run. If he'd have gotten the Falcon at the end, this could have been, the journey of how everything started coming together for him.
Like,
yes.
Maybe even bringing in some of the expanded universe, like the Corellian and what was it, Corsac? That was what Han was part of, Corsac, or was he Corellian security?
Before he joined the Empire.
Yeah, have that story where he's kind of trying to find his own, and he decides that smuggler is the right path for him.
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to take this straight into the freeform then, because I don't have a whole lot more to offer. Okay. Han was handed everything in this. It wasn't just, everything coming together. He was handed literally everything in this movie.
Chewie, the Falcon, his blaster probably.
Yes, his blaster, his name.
Yes, even in that scene that before that scene there was the Imperial March, but it was all happy tick recruiting song. Man, it was just like
Just that concept alone, the fact that we have to explain how Han got his name. Some random guy at a desk gave it to him. Like,
and he accepted it.
Like, that's just stupid. Like, you don't have to make the story. It's a Star Wars story. It doesn't have to be every plot relevant thing to characters. For God's sake, nobody cares if you want to tell the story of the Kessel Run. If you want to tell how he got everything, how everything came together all at once. No, just it's a snapshot of his life at a certain, a non-particular moment of some interest. It doesn't have to be this thing where it's like, oh, hey fans, look at this. You remember this? Yeah, you like this. All right, we're gonna put this away. But remember, you like this, okay? You like this.
Look.
We'll
I know the character.
We'll get into it a little bit. We'll get into it a little bit more in detail later. But fuck the Kessel Run.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I was gonna say is, if you need to do a character that you kind of pick them up early and you see them through to the point where they crop up in basically kind of have a bridge between the prequels and the original trilogy. A character that you could pull it off with, but he's a very mixed character. Boba Fett. He's probably one of the few you could pull off. Han Solo,
Don't give a fucking idea.
Okay, no. That we're
It's
not
already
working
on the
this case.
table. Ison, it's already been on the table for years.
Doesn't make it okay.
I want to touch upon a point that you raised, Bison. It is something I've been hearing the rounds of a lot, and it's very difficult to say that this isn't the case anymore. And that's just Disney siphoning every possible dime they can get from even the most throwaway of references throughout the classic trilogy. So, the Kessel Run.
The Kessel Run.
How the Death Star plans were obtained. Things like and making a whole movie out of it.
Yep.
So,
And they aren't even being honorable to the legacy. I mean, for God's sake, let's all be honest. The actual story of as far as I'm concerned, it's called the legend story of how they acquired the Death Star plans.
Which time?
It's infinitely better.
There were 2 times they obtained them.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
I mean, because the second time you got Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing. The best version, without a doubt, is the one in which what happens. You have Kyle Katarn. Kyle Katarn is one of the greatest characters in all the expanded universe, in my opinion. Yeah. So the Kyle Katarn variation of stealing the Death Star plans is one of the most interesting stories. It's already been done, in the form of, I believe, in Dark Forces, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Dark Forces 2, yeah. It's already been done, and you can just turn that into a movie. That would be meaningful nostalgia. I'll even give it credit. For example, Force Awakens. I think a lot of meaningful nostalgia happens there. And I don't know if everyone noticed, the flag used for Episode 1, and I mean, Phantom Menace, the flag used for Anakin's pod, it actually is there at Maz Kanata's temple, or Maz Kanata's whatever it is.
I'm not personally a big fan of Force Unleashed for a whole variety of reasons. But what I want to say is, you were touching on a point that I was going to bring up, which is, this is all completely unnecessary. Things like the Kessel Run, you don't need to make a whole movie out of it. Leave it to the fans' imagination.
Yeah.
Because things like that have either been done really well in book or comic or even video game form.
Even Family Guy.
Say that again?
Even Family Guy, they just parodied that, the Kessel Run, folks.
Okay, or that.
Yeah.
But
Actually,
the point is, give your fans a little bit more respect than that.
And since we're talking about so much now, okay, the Kessel Run itself. I think we can outright say, holy shit, Star Wars just copied Star Trek. They have a storm in fucking space. That's the Kessel Run. It was a storm in space.
Kessel Run has always kind of been like that. If you know, just to kind of give a quick brief history of the Kessel system, it's just a fuckload of black holes. So it's got to look like a storm in space. All around Kessel, which is what? It's like a spice colony or something?
It is a potato-shaped planetoid that is
barely habitable.
To mine Glittersim's spice.
Yeah. But there are a bunch of black holes around. I think it's nearby the mall.
Black holes?
Super cocaine.
Yeah.
For reference, that's what spice is. Spice is super cocaine.
Yeah.
But the thing is, black holes are one thing. I don't see black holes causing but looks like the middle of a literal eye of a super hurricane in space.
Oh yeah, if you get close enough to the event
No,
horizon,
it was supposed to be.
Well, that's because actual, like, I'm a level with you, right? Actual black holes are fucking boring. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, here's the thing, Spot. You're aware of the Moore installation, are you not?
Yes, yeah, I am.
Right. Well, what was it right next? It was next to what was called the Moore cluster. It was a cluster of black holes.
I'm aware of that.
But no, what's also is scarier than more black holes? An actual gargantuan space creature. That's some heavy spoiler right there.
Wait.
You mean like a space worm?
Not a space worm. It's like some Cthulhu-esque being. I don't know.
That's somehow survives.
Any Cthulhu-esque beings in Star Wars.
That somehow survives in these gravimetric eddies, which, by the way, no one's supposed to be able to survive, but TIE fighters fucking do.
Beggar means Kathleen Kennedy's spirit animal.
But but despite this thing surviving in that environment, it gets sucked into a black hole.
If I had to describe it again, it would be the Leviathan from, Rise of Titans or something.
Guys, don't dip into Cthulhu mythos for Star Wars. We already have enough pseudo-paranormal crap in the expanded universe. Hell, if you had to make it some sort of fucked up creature that they've got to fight, here's how you do a horror story in
Use on
Star
Vong.
Wars. No, not the use on Vong. The hyperspace wraiths. The things are fucking terrifying.
Outland, and not
Yeah.
Outland. Yeah, there's other space and shit like that. Yeah, it's been done in the EU.
Yeah, it's been done in the EU. If you need to do a horror story where you have some sort of ungodly thing killing people, do that. Because it exists. It's actually very interesting, because they never explain what these things are in the books. They're just there. They don't know if they're based on the Force, if they're from another dimension, if they're from hyperspace natively. No one knows.
Well, see, don't you then think that what Ison and myself are bringing up it is readily apparent in that there are all these vague nods to things that have been done in the EU,
but they're not focusing on anything.
They're just slapping a new name on them and making them shit. Like there's this.
Like Thrawn died like a fucking bitch in Rebels.
Wait. Simon, let me get this point across. There's this sort of gunslinger chap. I think it's Woody Harrelson. Yeah. And when I first saw him, I thought, hey, is that Galandro? I thought, he's probably dead at this point. But it's a different person altogether. It's a new character. Do you know who I'm... Well, Beggar will probably know who I'm referring to because he's actually seen the movie.
Yeah, you're referring to Beckett.
They fucked up. You know what they could have done? You know what they could have done with that?
Hmm.
That could have been Drub McComb.
Well, I was thinking Galandro. Galandro was the fastest gun in the galaxy.
Well, why not? It still would have worked with Drub.
I suppose.
And look, I want to clarify something going forward. I don't, because people will claim this if people actually watch this and take me seriously. I'm not saying that they shouldn't pay homage, but the problem is they need to, if they want to claim that they're Star Wars fans, they need to respect it. And honestly, I get that the expanded universe needed to get fucking tinkered with.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff in there is absolutely asinine, all right? There's the guy who carries a fucking ice cream maker in episode 5. He's apparently a rebel informant, all right? No. He's a guy carrying a fucking ice cream maker off of the Cloud City in the middle of an Imperial raid. But goddamn, there are a lot of good stories, and there are a lot of great ways to respect the story and make it readily accessible and make it
They could have just done the
good
fucking Thrawn series for the new trilogy.
And you know what?
That would have been amazing.
Thrawn in Rebels is good. That's the done right. I think Rebels is the one good thing. And even though he went out, it's not the best, but the problem is I think they wanted to try and squeeze another season out, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
But you can tell. But they did what they could to end their stories in meaningful and positive ways. They made it interesting. They made it actually like... They tied it in so much with they saved a lot of the expanded universe, actually, in the new canon, like lightsaber combat styles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's an homage.
We're
not getting into that.
But there is something from that I want
Abomination.
to forward, is that Rebels is an example of where it maintains the feel of the classic trilogy. I mean, hell, the style is in Ralph McQuarrie.
Oh yeah,
And it's done by actual fans.
And it, I mean, there's a lot of things within it that certainly irks me. But comparatively speaking, it's not a shit show. And this is just on a whole different level because it's taking the most iconic character, in my opinion at least. And
the
just
most iconic ship.
and the most iconic ship. Bloody everybody across the thing. Who hasn't heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Isn't the Millennium Falcon like a ship that's been around for over a century or something? By the
The design apparently has.
It's got to work out. It's good.
Well, no,
Here's the
what
thing,
I mean
it's
is the Millennium
supposed to be
Falcon has a history before Han, and even before
It has a
Rey.
history before Lando.
Yeah.
We don't get any of that.
No. For that again, you have nods here and there in the EU.
Yeah.
And we know that the Sabat games. It went back and forth between Han and Lando. I don't know how many times, but quite a number.
But at any rate, oh my god, what they did to the ship!
Smart. I know this is probably going to piss you off, but I can accept that. Do you know why? Because it's supposed to be a stock YT 1300 freighter.
Yeah.
What's the most common car in the United States?
Fuck if I know.
I don't know.
a Honda Civic.
The Ford Vagina, let's say. Okay? It's basically...
That's all of their trucks.
Right. It's basically that. Well, I know the Ford F-150, which I'm sure at least all of you have heard of.
Yeah.
It's generic stock, but no two are necessarily the same because somebody's already modified it in some way.
Oh yeah.
This is the Millennium Falcon. It's supposed to be your generic stock-looking freighter.
Well,
and it's gone through an evolution. Yep.
There's a difference between it evolving and its signature iconic look coming from crashing on a planet.
Oh, this I'm not aware of.
Oh,
Go.
I thought it
The
was just
original-
new ship, and it got a couple of battle scars in this movie. But
No, apparently
they got it in one incident.
No, let's not speak. I want to know this.
That middle section where the two prongs come out, that's mostly filled in for most of the movie until it crashes on a planet, then most of that falls off.
Okay,
Yes.
because I know that bit was filled in, but I thought that was just modified.
No, it just falls off after they crash.
Oh my god!
I thought that the YT 1300 always had that hole in the middle of it.
Not that big a one.
Nope.
Well, you might be for the whole range of them, and some of them have a central cockpit section as opposed to one.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
the
offset
YT
on the right.
1950.
No, even of the 1300 series.
Okay, so the 1300
It's
isn't
a
just
modular design, and you can
Got it.
modify
Okay, so there's like sub variations of the 1300.
It's like Lego, basically. You can do
Yeah.
what the fuck you
But
want.
again, most of the big things that you see that we consider the iconic design of the Falcon happens because they ram almost face first into a planet.
Okay, well that's shitting on its legacy then. It's disrespecting the Millennium Falcon.
Oh,
Yeah.
they did worse. But let's get into the biggest fuck you to the Falcon. Let's go back to Beggar. Let's halfway through the movie where we're introduced to our new token minority, the L337.
Yes, the droid feminist. Yes, I when I heard her, it was pretty obvious when I heard her. I'm just like, oh, I want her to just be scrapped. Like there was just a bitch.
What
You
was the
just
name-
assume it's gender.
What was the name of the droid in Rogue One? Again, I'm forgetting his name.
I forget his name, but I know
He
he was
stole
in
the
Surrender.
fucking show. He stole the show, and he earned it.
Yes, he definitely earned it.
This thing,
I know, his voice actor is also cool.
Yeah.
this thing.
K2SO.
Okay, so L337, and I think they were just trying to be cute with that one.
Leet.
Yep.
No.
This thing is a walking paradox of epic proportions. Problem one, it's self-aware enough and wants droid rights and freedom.
Do you know what happens to droids that start speaking like that in Star Wars?
Yes, we've seen that. They end up in Jabba's palace.
No, they end up melted down. People are terrified of droids that speak that way.
Well, I mean, to put this in context, I mean, what we had a clone war with droids fighting against clones.
Not even 20 years previous.
Yeah,
Yes.
and combat droids were very heavily regulated by the Empire, and even after the Empire fell, they were still heavily regulated.
Hell, they're heavily regulated under the Confederation of Independent Systems. I mean,
yeah.
if you look at it, only a handful of them are allowed to be actually intelligent because they needed to limit the capabilities of them so that the way they would make them
It was
self-aware.
more the B-1 battle droid was kind of it started
No,
out
they
really
all-
stupid
they
because it was
all-
cheap.
It's both. It's actually
it wasn't just because of that. Ison actually is hinting to a earlier point in the Republic, many thousands of years prior,
Old Republic.
where the
Mhm.
say that again. Sorry.
Old Republic. Old Republic.
Old Republic era, where there was a droid takeover. Try and quickly look that up.
Actually, I think in Old Republic you get involved in that.
It was particularly brutal as well. So I think that there were fail-safe systems where even things like the droidicas were linked to the droid control ship. So they were entirely reliant on a master.
Initially,
control
they
system.
later changed to be more independent, but that was more out of desperation. by
Yeah,
the
they were losing the
Confederation.
war.
Yeah.
But-
No, it was the Trade Confederation.
I mean, they started
losing
bringing it
the
up so that
Falcons.
way you had hyper intelligent ones. I'm trying to remember, there was the one in the Clone Wars animated show. There was actually a hyper intelligent leader droid, and he actually, fun fact, he actually comes back in Rebels. But you know, the guys like that were a rare commodity because if you look at it, he knew exactly what to do. He knew how to win,
Yeah,
and that kind of droid that knows how to beat humans and other, aliens and sapient life forms, the organics, as it were, is a terrifying concept.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You guys just remind me of something. Are you familiar with the assassin droid IG-88?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, there were 4 of him.
right. So some of them had a plan to enact the droid revolution. Don't know if any of you were aware of that.
All 4 of them, in fact, were working towards it. A, B,
So,
C, and D.
Yeah, following there. So, yeah. Droids taking over is not something you want.
Yeah, IG-88A died, I believe, in the destruction of the second Death Star.
But either way, that's just paradox problem number 1. Paradox problem number 2 is apparently this one random ass fucking droid has the absolute best navicomputer in the galaxy.
It's not an astromech. Get the fuck out. Astromechs are the only good
I'm dead
navicomputers
serious.
out there.
Apparently, the whole plot is this thing has the best navigation system ever conceived, ever built, and that will ever be built.
Yes,
No.
that was true.
I've played enough tabletop Star Wars to know how this shit works. Astromechs are good in a pinch. They can hold about 10 routes in their memory banks. Some have been expanded out, but a full navicomputer, unless you are a brilliant starship engineer, you can only fit them on ships of the White T-1300 class or larger.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like I said,
By the way, I looked it up real quick. The super intelligent, super tactical droid was Kalani, who, mind you, after the overarching droid shutdown code that went across the entire galaxy, he thought it was a trick. He didn't deactivate his units.
Yeah.
this is
Think about
irrelevant.
the implications.
Yeah.
But like I said, apparently the whole plot point is this particular droid is literally a Deus Ex Machina.
Sounds all right.
It is the MacGuffin.
Look, R2-D2 of the Astromechs is probably one of the best, if not the best one out there. But he's also been online for years, and even he isn't that fucking Deus Ex Machina crazy.
Yeah.
It gets then there's paradox problem number 3. Apparently Lando's banging it.
Yes, I recall that scene very well.
Or clanging it, no matter how you want to.
I thought that was a throwaway joke.
No, this is legit.
Yep.
Yes, it was so legit. Like when
This is the reason why the writer declared Lando pansexual, was just for this.
I don't know how to break
Yes.
this to you, Seawell, but that oil bath is going to feel so
Oh,
good.
you fucker.
Yes, that entire scene where the robot was describing to Han's girlfriend of this entire thing, I was just like, burn it, just burn it.
Which is why when it after it and during one, I believe the climax of the movie, where it actually inspires a droid revolution on Kessel.
But it was like
Do you know what the Empire response to that would be?
exterminatus.
Yes. If that fucking happened, they would have exterminatus the surface of Kessel. They would have sent
Like
in
I said,
Thrawn.
I mean, Beggar, am I wrong? Isn't that pretty much what happened? Small scale, but it happened.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
It happened, but the main thing was like that. Like what? Since you guys are all fans of the EU, there's a certain little chip or whatever have you not for a droid that it cannot revolt or something. It will take
Restraining
control.
bolt.
yeah,
Restraining bolt. Yeah, that was it. And so all
that's
the,
not in the EU. That's canonical.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
canonical.
Oh, okay. I'm just being the heretic here. So
Even R2D2 can't resist a restraining bolt.
okay, yeah,
Not
I
for
recall
long,
that.
at least.
You
I mean,
see that in
restraining-
episode 4.
Yeah, we literally see the Jawas use one.
Yeah. Okay. So all the droids had restraining bolts. So of course, when they got removed, the restraining bolts, that's how the revolution took place because it was in that command center. And then of course, all the droids went fucking haywire.
Yeah, also, a slight problem. The vast majority of those droids, if they weren't using what are known as remote processors, which are the dumbest you can get for a droid, it's basically what the B-1s had in episode 1, which is why they were so dumb, and why they were defeated by fucking Gungans, because they all were basically giant
They were
cloud,
defeated.
giant cloud Gungans. Giant
No,
cloud
Shame.
No, they weren't defeated by Gungans. They were defeated by a hidden Sith Lord. Jar Jar's a fucking Sith Lord.
Darth Jar Jar. But
Done.
what I was gonna say is the vast majority of those droids would be on that because for mining operations, though that type of processor is perfect for those droids.
Question.
Then there's
Help me
other
out,
ones that
Beggar.
have
Help me out here. Weren't those like older model astromechs and gonk droids?
Yes, that was the entire thing because when she did that whole thing, they were in the command center, so it was all those droids just looking at the cameras and controlling the doors, what have you not. So when the droids went haywire, that's how all the slaves got their chains freed and doors went wide open. So basically, when the revolt happened, they couldn't just like seal it off in one area and let the rebels die, basically.
So during
Yeah.
that scene, while she's inspiring freedom, she gets shot down. She gets like ripped apart. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't exactly in that area, but it was like at the near end when they're about to get what they were going for in it. Then, of course, they couldn't leave without her since she has navigation.
Well,
So-
yeah, Lando actually apparently runs up and screaming her name and tries to tell her to hold on and shit.
Yes, and in that entire scene.
So yeah, that relationship was a thing.
And as I was saying, to continue on, then the next tier of droids is basic processors. Here's the thing. The only droids that can become independent like her have the most expensive type of processor called a heuristic processor.
Seawall?
Do not use heuristic processors for mining droids.
Seawall?
Okay.
This train wreck is about to get worse.
Oh god, no.
Don't remind me, Spark. Don't.
I have to. We
Go
have
on,
to
Spark.
go.
Do it!
So apparently, in order for them to get away from Kessel and the fact that the droid is now offline, they hook it up into the Falcon.
Yes.
The Falcon it now uses the droid as its navigomputer. This thing has officially, canonically, been integrated into the Millennium Falcon.
Oh god, that's the joke. That's the joke. That's the throwaway line from a C-3PO in Episode 5 of it. There are three different systems in here. They're speaking three different languages. One would
One
be the
the
stock
professor in the back.
One is obviously the base navicomputer that came with the Millennium Falcon, obviously, or upgraded. Second is her. What the fuck is the third one now? You know they're gonna explain that shit.
I don't want to know. All I know
I
is
don't think you will. That's the weird part.
so yeah, we have a social justice droid hooked up into the Millennium Falcon permanently. It's always been there. That is retconned. That means it's always been there.
I recognize no such retcon.
Furthermore, they explain how the Falcon is the fastest ship in the galaxy. They use a special kind of hyperfuel.
Oh god!
This movie doubles down on the hyperfuel.
No.
This movie doubles down on the hyperfuel.
Wait. The important question is, question here. Can hyperfuel melt or steel beams?
Yes. Very easily, in fact.
Actually, we don't know. Actually, we have no.
We don't know that.
But okay, again, I'm going to the technical side of things.
Because apparently they injected something in. I mean, Bagger, correct me if I ever get this wrong, because I only have plot synopses. But they injected something into this mix of hyperfuel to make the Falcon go faster than anything else.
Yes, that was true, because it was basically they injected into the engine or what have you not, and they did it. It was like a jump start, basically, of
it was brain force for the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
So basically, we had super mega hyperfuel go.
Yes, that was that.
No.
And that's how the Kessel Run was run.
Sugar free.
No. How hyperdrives work is they burn the same amount of fuel for the distance they go. The rating for that number, that it actually is explained. 0.5 past light speed,
yes.
quote unquote. It's actually that's a 0.5 X drive. Sorry, I'm going to get fucking autistic with this.
No, you're right. Though, but I believe the
Can
Falcon has
get
one
that
that's slightly faster than that.
In pseudo canon from again the tabletop, there is a way to
Which
upgrade
is
a
no
ship.
longer canon.
As it's pseudo canon for Legends, you can make a ship as fast as the Millennium Falcon. It should require somebody who's trained as a high-end starship engineer, and they can upgrade. You can take a 1X engine and upgrade it to a 0.5. There's a downside to it though, which it explains why the Millennium Falcon always breaks down. Because of how bleeding edge it is, you got to constantly maintain that shit. I think it's every month you have to roll in the game you actually have to roll a really high maintenance check, or the ship fails to function.
Well, here's the thing. I think the way they're explaining why it's like needs so much maintenance in the original trilogy now is because the ship crashed face first into a fucking planet.
Not that hard to rebuild a ship like that. You just replace the parts.
We'll just buy another one.
I don't think they did.
The same.
I don't think they, because like I said, chunks of it fell off and made the look that we recognize.
And then, of course, they didn't get it repaired at that scene. Lando took the ship in that broken state to somewhere else at the end of the film. So it's even more.
As long as the core superstructure isn't shattered, you can rebuild those ships. If you use actual maritime concepts, like a blip, this is a World War II history. Didn't you guys have a cruiser that had its keel broken, and even you guys were able to rebuild it even with a broken keel?
It was the Belfast.
Yeah.
The Belfast hit a mine.
Yeah.
It broke its back.
And they rebuilt the fuck.
I think it took 2 years.
Yeah.
It was back to the war. Yeah.
Even if the keel, or in the space of a starship, superstructure is broken, short of it being shattered, you can rebuild it.
Like I said, that was a full. I don't think. Correct. I mean, okay. Am I wrong here, Beggar? They didn't even have time to fire thrusters. This is a full-on atmospheric re-entry crash.
Yeah, I mean, I would describe it as almost a crash at some level. Like, I'm trying to remember.
Basically, okay.
It should be pulverized based on how you're describing it, Scott.
Yeah. We're at about 45 minutes, guys.
Never tell me the odds.
Okay, think the Enterprise D crash.
Yeah, the Enterprise D, they were still using thrusters.
They did. Apparently, this thing just
And also, the Galaxy class starship was a very resilient ship.
Either way, that's what happened in this thing. So far we have we have feminazi droid that's banging now pansexual Lando Calrissian. The Falcon looks nothing like it originally did, and only did after getting smacked around like an unwanted bitch. Which also integrated the feminazi bot. And Osea, the girlfriend, which might as well not have been there. She was the sole purpose he left. He was trying to get out of Corellia in the first place.
Oh, at least they started him out on Corellia.
They started him out on Corellia, but he was working for a vampire slug thing.
No, he was supposed to work for Corsac, then the Imperials.
Dagger, you take this.
Yes, so apparently Hans the orphan has no people, so of course he takes up with was it Oliver Twist sort of thing, works with basically what Smart is this vampire thing, and of course has his love interest from there, and then they escape from it, but of course the love interest didn't get away.
And as a result of the love interest not getting away, Han joins the Empire.
Yes, and I think, yes, and to gain piloting experience, since he wants to be a pilot, and then once he was done, he would go back to Corellia.
Okay.
And he became a soldier.
Okay.
Not a pilot.
Expanded Universe Legends now. Some of the best pilots came out of Corsac because they actually gave a shit. A lot of really shitty pilots came out of the Imperials because, well, the Imperials didn't give a shit. The Tarkin Doctrine really fucked up the Imperial Navy.
There's an element of that, but also Corellia has always had a very proud history. It's been a core world of the Republic for thousands of years.
It was a founding planet.
It was a founding planet, but it maintained an independence. And going back to the fucking name, Soylo is descended from Janash A. Soylo, Prince Admiral, who managed to single-handedly fucking stop the Alsacan conflicts between Republic and Alsaca.
Yeah, I knew Han Solo was from a noble line. I didn't realize it was that noble.
But unfortunately, in this case, he goes to sign up with the Empire. He doesn't have a last name to give him, so the recruiter gives him a random-ass last name.
Solo.
Well, that's shitting on the fans. Just big old spread cheek diarrhea with corn in it.
You're gonna love it.
Okay, AVGN, but okay, so there's that. Let's see.
Spark, there's the other giant fucking paradox staring at everybody in the face. Like said arse cheeks. It is a lawless time.
Oh, yes.
No.
How?
The
one point in history where the galaxy is finally restored to order, admittedly an
the
authoritarian one, but order nonetheless.
Yes, the opening title PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, they had claimed it was a lawless time despite the Empire.
The only lawless areas left was the Outer Rim and Wild Space, and for a short time after the Empire came about, the Mid Rim had some troubles. That's about it. The core planets and the Expanded Rim,
Apparently,
core, completely stable.
Apparently, everything was lawless, no law, lawless.
You don't get that with them. You get that with a dying Imperial, not a rising Imperial. Rising Imperials are scarily stable.
But at any rate, we also have the, let's see. After he joins up with the Empire, he becomes a soldier, not a pilot.
There's a reason why. Apparently he was too rebellious or something like that. So he got kicked out and got sent to the army.
Bullshit.
Oh, he was too much of a rebel. Oh,
It's either something like a rebel or something like that, or just too uppity to... Yeah, loose cannon,
Look,
basically.
the Empire gave less of a shit about their pilots than they did about their stormtroopers. The pilots were more expendable than the stormtroopers.
Let's see, and then apparently his infantry unit was hauling around a Wookiee to eat the dead. What?
What?
Yeah, I think that was true.
They were calling around Chewie so he could eat their dead or their dead prisoners.
Chewbacca is a leader of the people of Kashyyyk, for God's sake.
No, he's a fucking furry trash can.
He was friends with Yoda.
Now he's their garbage disposal.
Oh, God.
So when Han ends up thrown in there with him, who, by the way, apparently he eats whatever's thrown in there, according to what's been said, he tries to plead for his life, doesn't work. He starts speaking his language.
No.
Just out of nowhere.
No.
Even though Chewie at least understands English.
Yeah.
He speaks basic. He speaks basic. He understands basic.
Well, no,
But
okay,
He doesn't.
Wookiees
He
are
can't
physically
speak it, but he
incapable.
understands it.
Yeah, Wookiees are physically incapable of speaking basic, just as most beings that can speak basic are physically incapable of speaking Wookiee. They could, at best, do a really, really shitty emulation of it.
Pretty much,
But,
yeah.
out of nowhere, Han starts speaking Wookiee to Chewbacca.
I mean, it's like people like I think a lot of characters actually understand binary, which is the droid language, but good luck speaking it.
But either way, so apparently that works. That prevents Chewie from killing him. Oh, and another little tidbit. We find out how Chewie became named Chewie. Han asked Chewie his name. Chewbacca responds. Said, I'm not going to say that all the time. I'm going to call you Chewie.
Oh, God.
Bastard writing.
Take me out now. Please,
That's
just end it all.
how he earned his Corellian blood stripes.
Furthermore, I believe it was shortly after this, Beggar, again, always stop me if I'm wrong, because I only have plot synopses from 3 different videos to work with here. Shortly after this, he gets caught up with this other smuggler with his big plan. He gets his iconic blaster, which is a modified fucking rifle, and is just tossed at him.
No.
Yes, that was
No.
true. It was like a sniper rifle. Then he's like,
No.
"Oh, you need a gun." So he took the thing down to the basic of a pistol.
No.
He basically took apart a fucking Nerf gun.
No. Han's blaster was what's known as a heavy blaster. Heavy blasters, yes, they do technically
Blast
have...
Tech, I believe. Is it Blast Tech?
It's a Blastech DL-12, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But, okay, yes, heavy pistols actually
No,
do have the
DL-44.
power... Yeah, DL-44.
DL-44.
sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of their lighter pistol. But heavy blaster pistols, yes, they do have the output of a rifle. No, you can't turn a fucking blaster sniper rifle into a pistol. It
They
doesn't
literally
work.
did that in like less than 30 seconds.
It doesn't work like that.
Apparently it does now.
There is one gun in the Star Wars universe you could convert into a pistol that easily.
I have
and it
bad
was a
news for you,
modular
Sewell.
rifle that was used by the
Sewell.
clones.
Sewell, they've retconned it in the Wikipedia.
Fuck the new fucking canon, alright? The only good hybrid weapon that exists in the new canon is Ezra Bridger's fucking lightsaber. That's the only good one. And at least that has a
it's not-
fucking nerf to it.
And it's not the first lightsaber that's done shit like that in the expanded universe.
But
No,
at,
no, it's not. We have
but,
light-
but at any rate, so yeah, like I said, everything's been handed to him at this point.
Which is about almost the same problem that we have with Rey about being handed everything.
So young Han Solo is a Gary Stu.
Yes, he's literally he does this. He's good at this for no reason. He's handed everything. He walks into an already this is later down the line. He walks into an already in progress Sabacc game where Lando is playing, and just deals himself in.
Mm-hmm.
No. No.
Star Wars, everyone!
And let's not forget the girlfriend who, was the primary reason Han did all this crap for reasons, is back and working for this evil gangster who isn't Jabba or anyone else we've ever heard of.
It's not even Zero the Hutt.
Yeah, it's no one we've ever fucking heard of.
Mm-hmm. And it's someone who's already died in the new canon, mind you.
So we've got that to worry about. And so they go on a job for this to go to Castle, do all this shit, and then we come back and find out. So we have triple crosses going on. Huge action scene where nothing makes any fucking sense. She won't be with him anymore because he's too good a person for what she's become.
Han shot first.
And then, of course, we have, our end credits reveal of who she's really working for.
Empire.
Darth Maul.
But know what was funny the entire time? Like, after the movie was over, like, I was with, let's just say, some other people. They didn't believe that Darth Maul survived Phantom Menace, and yet somehow I was convinced that because I watched like the Clone Wars. Oh yeah, that makes perfect canonically sense.
Yeah.
Well, he survived it even before the Clone Wars, but like that was the first time he was back on screen in forever, and then he was back in Rebels, and he died in Rebels. Yeah. Granted, it probably takes place later than Solo, but even then, I'm sorry, the dude was in hiding the whole time. He was a former Sith Lord who was dejected, defeated,
Sith assassin.
and waiting.
He was never actually a Sith Lord.
He was given the title of Darth.
Yeah, he was given the title of Darth.
That means he's gotten further than Lord.
But basically, here's the thing about Maul, alright? Is that he's supposed to be a mysterious character who, like, he's an old Sith wizard at this point. He is in all but actual rank an old Sith wizard who's trying to work his best to depose those in charge now.
It gets better.
To settle a score and to fix this.
So apparently the only way we know is he stands up, ignites his lightsaber, and turns it off.
Yes.
Literally, that's what he does. He ignites both ends of his lightsaber and then turns it off.
No. Darth Maul didn't get a double lightsaber until sometime right before Rebels. This is not...
No. What are you talking about? He had a double lightsaber in episode 1.
He had one in episode 1.
And then it got cut in half. But he did have one. I do believe he had one in Clone Wars, but he lost that one too.
No. He didn't have one in Clone Wars. He used two separate lightsabers. He was using the surviving surviving 2/3 of his double-bladed lightsaber. He then repaired his double-bladed lightsaber after taking an Inquisitor's lightsaber before Rebels started. Probably a good couple. I wouldn't be surprised if it was about a year or two. So, okay, we're 10 years before. We're 10 years before New Hope. Star Wars Rebels happens within like a year to 6 months of A New Hope. So, no, you can use the silhouette. That would be good enough.
But no, it is literally Darth Maul.
They're already like, look, I'm gonna be honest, right? Again, the old canon was a clusterfuck because of the expanding universe.
Yeah.
They're barely into this, and they've already fucked up their own canon in several major, just disgusting...
Also, there already is canon for what Maul was doing and who he was fighting during the interim period between Clone Wars and...
he was gathering information,
and
defeating the Inquisitors.
Ahsoka Tano was hunting
him.
Well,
no, he wasn't actually fighting Ahsoka Tano. That was just a tertiary effect. No, that was a tertiary. What he ended up doing is he was gathering information to try and find ways that he could get the forbidden knowledge found in the holocrons of the Jedi and the Sith. Yes. Once he did that, his next mission was simple. Find Kenobi.
And then Kenobi fucking killed him like a bitch. But it was
rightly so.
Yeah. Rightly so, though. Using his master's fighting style.
Yep.
That was pretty awesome, I've got to admit.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, I completely forgotten about that.
So
I would say thank you, but fuck you.
Bagger, did I miss anything critical?
Oh,
There was no critical. When I saw Darth Maul, I was just like, huh.
I meant everything.
Turn on the fuck.
What I meant was in everything in my general summary. Did I miss anything critical?
No, there was nothing critical.
And
That
we're
you
at an hour,
missed.
gentlemen, so I don't know if we want to do closeouts or something else.
Well, considering it took this long just to get everybody up to speed with it,
And I've got to be up in about 6 hours for work.
shit.
should we try and wrap it up within 10 minutes then?
Yep.
Within 10, all right. Try to keep it within 10 to 15 minutes.
Let me just note one thing of positive note, all right? And I'm only going to discuss this one thing out of E3, is that we've gotten an announcement that Respawn Entertainment is working on a Star Wars game. Now,
It's being licensed by EA. It's dead.
no, because here's the thing. EA is a trash company, but some of the dev teams in there can make really good stuff.
Until
Respawn
EA
has continued. No. Respawn made really good games in Titanfall and Titanfall 2. And the thing is that if they take the combat mechanics from the Titanfall series and essentially just kind of use it and add lightsabers, it's hopefully going to be a good game. Now, obviously, everyone should be skeptical, but hopeful. I mean, this is one of the good dev teams that still exists under them. I thought was going to die this year.
It's already dead. It's a corpse in a fucking tub.
No,
It's
Respawn hasn't
bloated.
had any major layoffs. They're still going pretty well.
BioWare's dead though. BioWare's about to die.
BioWare's going to die. Anthem's not going to sell well. BioWare is going to die. Rest in peace.
Bethesda's in some trouble, but it might be able to save itself.
Paradox
Paradox is doing
We're not.
gangbusters,
Hey,
though.
we're not going to talk about the rest of E3. We'll save that
Well,
for
the only
another
reason
day.
I bring up BioWare is because BioWare has Star Wars ties through the Old Republic and KOTOR.
Yeah.
And KOTOR 2. Actually, no, KOTOR 2 is Obsidian.
Yes.
God, I want Obsidian to make a Star Wars game now.
Right. Are we wrapping up any more odds and ends of Soylo?
So, guys, based on all the information I've given you and verified by the one person who actually watched the movie,
Shame on you, Beggar. Shame on you.
Yeah, I love your shame.
To be fair, one of us had to, Blip. One of us had to.
You took it for the team?
I believe I
so
deserve.
guys, I've given you every salient plot point in the damn film. So
We've broken down why it sucks.
it's just they handed Han Solo literally everything from his name to his gun to his best friend to his ship.
Don't forget the frickin' dice.
No one cares about the fucking dice. Seriously, literally no one cared about the goddamn dice.
Disney did, apparently.
Disney's irrelevant. And now it's Star Wars.
Yeah, good job, Disney. You did it. I mean, like we said 6 months ago, you fucking did it. But now you have the financial proof that you did it. You fucked up.
But they cannot accept that. It is all the fans' fault.
Killed Star Wars.
No. It's only because they cast white people in central roles.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that the whole controversy. The fact that the straight white male is dead. Yet, let's see, Deadpool opened and it was a massive success.
Even though Domino look-wise was completely off. Still a good
Oh,
character.
I walked back on that. I think they did Domino well. I think that's an acceptable variation.
Yes, they did, but the thing is, part of Domino's look is she looks literally like a domino.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but the point of the matter is, the straight white male isn't the fucking problem. If you have already damaged property where fans are losing trust, and you give us garbage, and then blame the fans when they don't like what you're feeding them,
That's going to go well.
you just completely screwed the pooch. You fucked up.
Well, you know what's going to happen next. You can just I'm quite certain this is what's going to happen. More welcome to disagree. They're going to make another one. They're going to try that aspect.
Definitely,
it's going to be entirely minority cast because it's
Boba
going to be stunning and brave.
Boba
And
Fett. That's going to be Boba Fett. That's exactly what it's going to be.
And it's going to be even in terms of the sales and
That's assuming Disney doesn't
attempt to
start circling the drain.
recoup its costs, it's going to do even worse than Soylo.
Well, here's the thing.
I would like to know their reaction
The
then.
only thing that was keeping Disney profitable as a company was Star Wars. They just passed the Rubicon. If Disney starts posting losses quarter over quarter, at some point the stock investors are going to go, okay, we're gutting the company.
Which, honestly, it needs.
Yeah, it does. It's getting too big.
It's not going to happen. It's not going. I mean, just
Especially
EA. They do the same thing. They'll take a franchise, milk it for everything it's worth, bleed it dry, and go to the next thing.
There's a difference between bleeding it dry but still turning a profit and posting nothing but loss.
Yeah, if Disney starts posting losses quarter over quarter, that's when the stock investors basically go, okay, management team, you're all fired. They bring in wolves who then gut the company to get it back afloat. And what they'll probably do is they'll probably spin off a lot of these franchises because they're like, well, we fucked this up. We can't touch it. And then also they'll start blacklisting certain people from Hollywood as, okay, these guys are fucking retarded. And certain directors are going to basically see there's going to be a Hollywood crash probably in the next 10 to 15 years.
Speaking of,
and a lot of the directors that are the good directors, quote unquote, right now, you know, the guys that are doing all these really shitty films, they're going to get blacklisted and they're going to be dustbined, basically.
Speaking of directors, remember who directed this? This was directed by Ron Howard.
Yeah, but most of the writing and most of the basically critical parts were already done by the other two guys.
I'm just saying the director on file that they're officially claiming is Ron Howard.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, who actually put the film together is a different story, of course.
The thing is, though, is that you could have a loss, and the investors and shareholders, what have you, will then sort of take their custom elsewhere. I don't think that's going to happen because you've got the political factor as well. Oh no, it's not our fault this happened. It's the fans' fault.
Yeah. You know what the stock investors do? They take one look at the management guy who said that and say, get on your fucking knees and start sucking them off because that's the only way this company's going to be profitable. You're fucking retarded.
And let's not forget, starting next year...
give a shit about politics.
Let's not forget, just starting next year, Disney also owns 20th Century Fox.
Yeah. And there's also a risk that with how much Disney owns of intellectual property for a lot of this shit, if there's even a whisper if they're doing anything related to trust or monopolistic or anti-competitive, Trustbuster is going to come down hard.
We haven't seen one of those since the early 90s.
Actually, late 80s.
Didn't they try to hit Microsoft with that?
They tried to, but there was an agreement made to have oversight by the government for about 10 years. So they threatened it, but they never used it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, as I'd say, we're hitting about the mark, folks.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to wrap things up?
Final thoughts, gentlemen. Ison.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm just going to go drink some hyperfuel and end it all.
Blop.
I didn't want to have to beg for the return of Lucas, but it's happening. It's getting to that point where Razor Fist's prophecies are coming true. And he's my friend.
Sewell?
I just want to watch the movie Thumb Wars and forget this ever existed.
And Bigger Hero.
If there's any consideration that I would say, obviously, if anyone who ever watches review videos, they're probably, obviously, the main thing that we all took from would be Razorfist and Mahler's review videos.
That's basically where I got every single plot point from. So that tells you everything.
Yes, and another video that I think is probably okay enough, but they, I think, put lightly on the whole tax thing or what have you not, would be Captain Midget's video that I watched today about Solo. So I would recommend those two as a review for it.
In my case, oh my god, I'm shocked, awed, amazed, and disgusted.
Now you know how George feels.
Bring back Jar Jar Binks.
I'm not quite at that level yet, but I will take Hayden Christensen back.
Oh God.
I'll take I hate sand back. I'll take that.
Death Star approaching. Yeah, we're getting to that point spot.
But okay, gents, people of the internet, yeah, this is. I mean, our last one was a little bit more upbeat. This one's just a downer. But really, where can we go, but down from here? So,
Well,
with that in mind,
we could walk into the noose with the anime
Star Wars
girl.
is sagging lower than Empire Strikes Back's middle third. Whew.
And then we go save our father from the underworld.
We gotta save her father from the Dragon of Chaos. Yeah.
but on that note, guys, yeah, may the force be with you because it's not with this franchise anymore.
Who is a free